this is Bob Mason from FX Empire, and welcome to the daily crypto tech review of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and Ripple's XRP. Looking at the MACDs, the moving averages, the day's support, resistance, and pivot levels, and the Fibonacci's. It is Friday, 28th of May. Jumping straight into Bitcoin against US dollar and the hourly candlesticks, been a mixed start to the day. Going to need to see Bitcoin move back through the pivot at 38,753 to take a run at the first major resistance level at 4284. Going to need to see support from the broader market for Bitcoin to break back through to 40,000 levels. Plenty of resistance there. So buying an extended rally on the day, expect the first major resistance level and yesterday's high at 4,500 to cap any upside. In the event of an extended rally, should see Bitcoin target 43,000 levels before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 42,032. Bitcoin would need plenty of support, however, to break out from the 38.2% fib at 41,592. Failure to move back through the pivot will bring the first major support level at 37,005 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Bitcoin should stay clear of sub 36,000 levels. Second major support level sits at 35,474. Looking at the MACDs, we've got a widening of the bearish histograms at the turn of the day after yesterday's bearish cross, supporting this early downside. On the EMAs, the 50 has narrowed marginally on the 100 and 200 as well, but no sign of a bearish cross, so need to keep an eye on that. So keep through the early part of the day, move back through the pivot at 38,753 and back through to 40,000 levels to then target 43,000 levels. Failure to do that, the support levels will remain in play. Moving across to Ethereum against US dollar, also bearish start. Going to need to see Ethereum move back through the 38.2% fib at 2740 and the pivot at 2760 to bring the first major resistance level, setting at 2880 into play. Going to need to see support from the broader market for Ethereum to break back through to 2800 levels. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level and yesterday's high at 2893.96 to cap any upside. In the event of an extended rally, should see Ethereum target second major resistance level at 3014. Failure to move back through the 38.2% fib and the pivot will bring the first major support level of 2625 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Ethereum should avoid sub 2500 levels. Second major support level 2505 should limit the downside. At the MACDs, slight widening of the bearish histograms at the turn of the day, supporting the early upside. On the EMAs, the 50 has narrowed marginally on the 100 and 200, also supporting this early morning pullback. So keep through the early part of the day, move back through the 38.2% fib and the pivot at 2760 to bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do that and support levels will remain in play. Across to Litecoin against US dollar, also bearish start. Going to see Litecoin move back through the pivot at 195 to take a run at the first major resistance level at 209. Going to need to see support from the broader market for Litecoin to break back through to 200 levels. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level and yesterday's high at 208.98 to cap any upside. In the event of an extended rally, should see Litecoin target 230 before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 223. Failure to move back through the pivot will bring the first major support level at 180 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Litecoin should avoid the 62% fib at 174. Second major support level sits at 166. Looking at the MACD, got a widening of the bearish histograms through the turn of the day after yesterday's late bearish cross. That's supporting the early downside. On the EMA, the 50 is holding its ground against the 100, so need to keep an eye on that through the early part of the day. So key will be to move back through the pivot at 195 and break back through to 200 levels to bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do that and support levels will remain in play. Looking at Ripple's XRP against US dollar, tracking the broader market, bearish start. We need to see Ripple's XRP move through the pivot at 0.9833 to bring the first major resistance level at 1.0317 into play. Going to need to see support from the broader market for Ripple's XRP to break back through to 1.0 levels. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level and resistance at yesterday's high at 1.0442 to cap any upside. In the event of a breakout, should see Ripple's XRP target 1.15 levels before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 1.0927. Failure to move back through the pivot will bring the first major support level at 0.9224 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Ripple's XRP should avoid sub 0.9 levels. Got the second major support level at 0.8739 and the 62% fib at 0.8538. Looking at the MACDs, widening of the bearish histograms at the turn of the day after yesterday's bearish cross, supporting this early morning pullback. On the EMAs, we're seeing a possible bearish cross 50 through the 100, so need to keep an eye on that. That would signal a further pullback through the morning. So key will be to move back through the pivot at 0.9833 and back through to 1.0 levels to bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do that, and support levels will be in play.